Greetings, Flesh Wound True Crime freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of Flesh Wound True Crime. I'm Daniel Shine. That's Todd Loya.
He said true crime a lot, Dan.
He said it twice. God damn. That's Pugs Dread. He's nicer, sort of.
Assalamu alaikum.
And that's Mike Kruger.
What's up, you sick motherfuckers?
So we're here tonight to talk about the brand new Netflix documentary docuseries, Night Stalker: The Hunt for a Serial Killer. And so we'll get right into it. The limited docuseries Night Stalker: The Hunt for a Serial Killer tells the true story of how one of the most notorious serial killers in American history was hunted down and brought to justice. All right, so Richard Ramirez, one of the big ones, really mean and successful serial killer. He killed a lot of people. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but
Is he your top five, Dan?
in the realm of serial killers, he got
I have to agree with Dan.
He got it done. He's he's a bastard, but he killed a lot of people.
What's the difference between a serial killer and a spree killer?
Serial killer, you have a cool-off period, and it goes for a longer time. A spree killer is kind of like real fast. Like Elliot Rodger.
Yeah.
That was a spree
Well, no,
killer.
because he's like on the cusp of both. Because he never really had a cooling off period.
He did, but it kept getting shortened because of his, like Dan said, how successful he was. So he kept upping his antics. That I think they call that like a berserker mode.
Okay. But no, I just wanted to get the exact on that because he's kind of, like I said, he feels in the middle, but there we go, berserker mode.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit.
He's a monster. And of course, a lot of people, there was renewed interest.
Smelly monster. You know what? Real quick on his fucking hygiene. How the fuck are you gonna have halitosis and BO? Like, come on, you gotta pick one. Like that's just fucking gross.
Cheeseburgers falling out of his pockets.
A lot of renewed interest because of American Horror Story. And it's a fascinating case. You forget just how fucked up he was when you actually go back and like get into the details.
I don't.
Yeah, you lived through it. Oh, you know,
you were the right age. Yeah, this would have been. Yeah.
Before we go too far, how they dismissed, they didn't dismiss it, but they're like, we're not going to pursue the child cases. I would actually like more in-depth info on there because I completely that's where my knowledge stops. Like, I don't know exactly what he did. I'm pretty sure it's out there somewhere. But during that time, a coworker of mine, her older sister lived in that area. Because this is around my area that I live in Rosemead. Yeah. I'll just put that out there. So, it happened not too far from me. But when she was growing up, there was a man hovering over her crib. And, the mom and dad woke up and the guy took off. And this was around that time. So I'm like, yeah, that was totally fucking Richard Ramirez. So that's fucking crazy that I'm even closer to this man. I just want to get that out there. And I need to look for a book or a series on those crimes that he was not charged with. And I thought it was pretty cool that the only not to put the kids through that because you're going to grow up and fucked up, but you got enough problems dealing with already the act of it. Now you got to relive it in front of people. That's rough. So
I think but at some point, do you think that may not bring them any closure when they get older? Because I truthfully think that may be a thing.
It's possible. Maybe. It depends on the kid, really.
Yeah. The girl, she seemed pretty well put together. Although I do have some sex life questions. So what are you into? Because that has to affect you somehow, even when you're that small.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But no, I don't know. A lot of therapy may probably help. But I'm glad they didn't have to go through that another traumatic experience because of this fucking smelly monster.
There have been other adaptations that have completely ignored the child stuff with him. It's just he's the guy that broke in and killed and murdered, couples.
I've always heard the child stuff. It's just like this. That they don't go into a lot because it didn't, go to trial. There's not as much public information on it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that,
Do you think, because that's one thing that's fascinating for a guy that fucking evil, and yeah, I mean he's an evil son of a bitch. If you're unaware and you watch this, yet he let the kids go, which is very strange. Like there must have been like some tiny bit.
Is that
of
more
He
evil?
gets off on that, dude.
Yeah.
And he doesn't give a fuck.
I see. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's
though.
not like he didn't touch any. You fuck.
No, I know, but he didn't. He killed everyone else. So, like, was he ashamed?
Not,
of
he
what
didn't
was
kill
doing?
everyone.
He didn't.
No, he
Well, he could.
whatever he felt at the time. Because like that was also the reason why it was really hard to catch this dude at a certain point, because he kept switching up his methods.
Yeah.
Also, this dude was a student of serial killers. This fucking guy likes to say that shit because like he read up upon serial killers up to that point, and he was really excited to be in the same fucking cell as one of the Hillside Stranglers. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm like, that makes you kind of cool. Like, the fact that he showed mad respect to the detective Frank Serrano, the white dude. He's like, oh yeah, I recognize you from the papers. Like that's fucking that's kind of cool. I realize what I'm saying, and this guy's a piece of shit. Don't take it wrong.
Yeah. No, I get it, because a lot of this is really more the detective stories. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about this doc is I kind of went in expecting more to hear about the Ramirez cases, and it did focus more. I felt on the detective work more than anything. It focused, really on those two detectives working on the case mainly and their perspective through it. And then, we hear the outside, but that was kind of the main focal point, I think, was the detectives' work on this. Because from some reviews I've heard about this doc, that's a big criticism I'm seeing along the true crime fans, is that it was way more of kind of tooting the detectives' horns than getting into the meat of the case, if that makes sense.
Well, Dan, what was the undertitle? It's Night Stalker Hunt for
a serial killer.
They probably should have reversed it, because like I went in expecting more about wanting to know more about Richard Ramirez too, but what I got was cool.
You know what? Here's the thing with that. I was cool that we didn't, because I've seen like the movies where they tackle his childhood, and it's like, yeah, he had a shitty childhood. We get it. Doesn't mean he should go ahead and do all this shit.
Yeah.
And they touched upon it, like they didn't talk about they briefly mentioned his brother and him watching kill his wife in front of him.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff. I know there's a ton of other stuff with his family. But I think for this, it worked. I get that you wanted more though too. We could have got an episode about that. I know in the final episode they touch upon it a little bit more too, but all in all, I was fine without getting too much into his origin story.
You know that one where the detective, it was funny in a sick sort of way when he was interviewing him and said, "It's like I thought that motherfucker was going to start floating."
Oh yeah. There's another interview where like he gets more into detail, because like he was slamming on the table and like. And it's like, this is Frank Carrillo, not Frank Carrillo, Gil Carrillo.
Yeah.
This is like, he's a big dude, did military time, and this dude's making him uncomfortable. Like, that's fucking nuts.
The thing about serial killers, a lot of times once you get I don't feel like if I saw the Green River Killer on the street, that guy's not that intimidating. You might think he's nuts, but Ramirez,
I'm surprised you didn't go with BTK. Because it's just Dan with glasses.
He's a big dude. He's probably intimidating to a degree, but Ramirez was like nightmare fuel. Like you don't look at, Bundy. Okay,
you know what, you say that, and I know a female that thinks Richard Ramirez is hot.
You know what it is?
Now that you're talking about that, I thought the woman saying the women that were sending Richard Ramirez the love letters were the dumbest bitches ever. Yeah, was like the best. That was like the best part of the documentary for me.
His wife was from Burbank. They married in 96.
That is so fucked up. What? Well, I get it. There's a lot of crazy chicks out there, but what kind of what do you fucking say? Is like, oh, he has a good heart. It's like, bitch, look at what he fucking did. Goddamn.
Yeah. What did they go through to find love in this man? I want to know.
Yeah, that's usually the truthfully the meat of that is like, yeah, it's something that happened to them when they were kids and they're acting out upon it.
How did we get here?
Fuck you, mom. Fuck you, dad.
I saw online that there was people complaining about like how far in graphic detail they went, but again, they skipped over a few things.
So, like our buddy JD Horror that runs True Crime Horror Story podcast, he did this on his podcast and went into way more grave detail than anything I've ever seen put out about Richard Ramirez to truly paint him as the monster he is. I think people saying that are just people that are triggered by stuff that's insensitive. But I mean, if you're reading and learning about a serial killer, I want to know everything about him. I want to know how fucked up this person was and what despicable acts he did upon people in grave detail so I can hate him even more. So I think people complaining about that are kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it went super far. I think the last couple were a little super light. Like last couple documentaries were a little on the lighter side. So I think people forgot, what you're watching. It's like it's no different than watching Forensic Files or any of that stuff. It wasn't any more extreme.
Yeah, these are facts.
I mean,
not salacious.
I mean, the only thing we saw was maybe some nipples we wouldn't have saw in the other one.
Hell, I would even say that for some of the older Forensic Files, even getting the more graphic detail than this doc did.
Yeah. And not to make or give this an excuse for what he did, but when he carved out the lady's eyes, like they left out the part where she had pointed a shotgun at him, and pulled the trigger, but it was empty because of her husband's grandkids were coming. So he's like, I'm taking out the bullets. So like that pissed off Richard Ramirez even more. So he took her fucking eyes. Dude, that guy's a monster. And then the fucking baby oil or the shampoo up the 8-year-old boy's ass. That's like, you got to throw that in there. Fucking
I mean that truthfully to me is I mean, I know murder, like everybody's gonna say murder is worse than rape, but that's like the worst thing he did in my eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And fucking for them to leave that out was pretty disappointing. Honestly, I think it kind of like I want him painted as a monster he truly was. Give me all the shit he really did out there.
But I think they stopped at the word sexual assault. I don't even think they use rape that often. I'm like, dude, say the word, make sure it has meaning.
Yeah, I know there was one of the filmmakers had an interview or something like they wanted to be careful not to romanticize
upset the victim's family.
Yeah, because there are some that do. I mean, we love true crime stuff, but there are some that kind of make
American Horror Story romanticized them.
Definitely. And I mean, I love American Horror Story, but yeah, they definitely did. I think Eileen Wuornos is one that I know that's a little complex and there's stuff there with her, but they romanticized the shit out of her.
Yeah, they made her a better person than what she actually was.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of it was like, well, look at all the
abuse. Like, that Oscar.
Ramirez was abused. I mean, so was most that we, probably all, but most that we know of were. So, like, why is Eileen Wuornos like you're making her look like a fucking angel? I mean,
you're talking about Monster, right?
Yeah.
Well, Monster and the docs on her too. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like like Todd said, they wanted that Oscar. They had to make the character sympathetic to people. So
yeah.
But in reality, no, she's a fucking scumbag, just like fucking Richard Ramirez. And like the thing that gets me, and like why I enjoyed like the part where that lady said all those women that are romanticizing Ramirez are dumb bitches, is just because like it bothers the fuck out of me that people truly think that way. Because like I couldn't even like obviously somebody's fucking murdered someone. You don't want anything to be involved with it, but there's people that actively go out there and search and I mean, fuck, Charlie Manson was. Granted, Charlie Manson fucking didn't kill anybody allegedly, but fucking he. With all the fucked up shit that guy did, you still had people literally until his death that were trying to fucking hook up with him and become his wife. Like I think he got married like not even that long ago before he died, and it just it mind boggles me. Like imagine being the person related to that fucking scumbag that does shit like that.
I think Pugs is feeling attacked right now because I know there's some women.
Yeah, but I don't feel attacked. They're dumb.
I'm talking about your girl. Fuck. Jody and the other one.
Jody
Arias.
Oh, all right. Well, come on. Well, dude, fuck.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring her up. Now you're
She's
thinking
not a
about her.
serial killer though, so it's a little different. She killed one person.
But I get what you're saying. Her and Casey Anthony, like, come on.
There you go. That's what I couldn't think
Smoke
of.
shows.
There could be sympathy for a Jodi Arias because she killed one person that.
No, there can't, Dan.
I think, hold on though. Now that you bring that up, you know what? I'm gonna fucking just say it right now. There's a difference between saying somebody is attractive and going out there and literally pursuing a relationship with a motherfucker.
Yeah,
there's a very, very fucking big difference about that. Like, yeah, fucking Casey Anthony was a nice piece of ass, but she fucking killed the child. So I'm not attracted to her whatsoever. Granted, like looks wise, yeah, I could say, yeah, she looked good. But as a person, I could never fucking bring myself to try to pursue a relationship with somebody like that. Like you have to be really sort of. I'm just saying, you have to be really sort of fucked up person to pursue a relationship with that.
I can
with a monster.
Hit it and quit it.
Hug just knows he doesn't have to pull out.
That's so awesome.
Oh, that fucked up.
Fucking timestamp that.
And Jody just wanted to be loved, and that guy kept fucking dicking her around.
Yeah, and she killed. Like I can see. Like I wouldn't portray her as a monster because she just. I mean, that's borderline. Like, was it defense?
No, it was not a defense. She fucking went out of her way to like turn off her phone and shit. Well, when that Netflix series comes out, I'm so glad we can talk about that.
But she didn't go and like kill the McDonald's manager because she thought he reminded.
Because no one got in her way. If someone would have gotten in her way, I guarantee you she would have did it.
I don't know.
I guarantee
to bring this back around to the Ramirez doc, though, that part when they were talking about how LAPD, pulled the cops out of the dentist office and instead put an alarm in. Of course, the fucking alarm doesn't work. Like that made me so goddamn mad. I was just like, motherfucker, some Looney Tunes ass bullshit like this.
It was still LAPD. So.
Can you imagine that dentist sitting there? It's like, what guys? What's it for?
Fucking slamming the red button.
He's sitting there working on him for probably an hour.
Dude, honestly, at that point, just turn up the laughing gas and go get
that's what I was about to say. That motherfucker was just turning up the gas and just pressing that shit. Like, fuck.
I think at that point, I'm just like, man, could I just shank him? And I mean, I guess
should I do a public service right here? Who will convict me?
Like, I'm just saying, if I was in that position, I would drug his ass literally to the point where I could just call the cops and be like, "Hey, he's here."
But you know what? Then his lawyer could probably get him off and take the guy's a license away for him to pursue medicine, which is total horseshit. But
it is. But yeah,
the system we have.
But then you go into the vigilantism. Is it better to lose your license and pursue another career path or save lives?
Yeah,
right. Because you could coast on that talk show circuit, write a couple of books about being a fucking hero.
Yeah. Write a fucking book
but you
about
also,
that shit, motherfucker. You get the Netflix series. You're fucking cashed in.
But you also have to deal with the possibility of being found guilty anyway. So plead out.
Yeah.
Was I the only one that was fucking furious at? I forget the lady.
You thought this was a comedy too?
No, the lady reporter and Diane Feinstein.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah,
he wears these shoes. It's like, if I were that Jill guy, I was like, I just want to strangle.
I will tell you right now, I remember that broadcast watching it because that was like all the details because it was it was already fucking nuts.
Like that's an
And
honest mistake, but that is
Oh,
fucking
no.
gigantic. You know, I guarantee you was like, I'm doing the right thing, and then all the cops come back. You stupid bitch! We can't let that out because how else are we gonna find this motherfucker?
that's
the
when
thing.
you say fucking stop.
Yeah, cut the camera.
And when that happened, that made me honestly do a deep thought within myself about people just reporting shit they find and putting out these huge reports. Like, what does that do to ongoing investigations? You know what I mean? I mean, that's
The whole
fucking
thing up.
that's truly scary. And that granted, our fucking police force in the United States hasn't been so great the past couple of years, but it did make me have a little bit more of a sympathy for them for shit like that, because like that's bullshit. I would straight up want to kill the motherfucker that did that. You know what I mean? Because like you're literally fucking giving out our MO on a fucking case that we're working on. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Now he
He's an
knows
Asian,
if he
yeah.
reads the fucking papers that we're fucking looking for him for these things, and you just revealed that information. Like, that's fucking not good. And like,
I was gonna say, and she should have known better too. In general, I mean,
She probably just got excited just to be able to
She
pull it
wasn't-
at that point.
the thing that pissed me off was she wasn't repentant at all for that. She was like, she sounded like she was proud that she put that out to the public. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, are you fucking proud that you fucking hindered an investigation, you stupid cunt?
Got people killed too. I mean,
there was blood on her hands.
because Ramirez, like, it was obvious at that point, this guy's just going to keep doing it. I mean, there's no, like, maybe that was the last one. He was going to keep fucking doing it till he got caught. Yeah,
I know he was primary. He was primarily LA, of course.
Yeah.
San Francisco. Yeah. And then I want to say there's 2 in Orange County. Because I know that's when I started really freaking out.
One of my mom's friends at the time lived around the area where he got caught, and she was in the background of the TV. She got interviewed and stuff, but like she was on the outside of all the dudes that were holding them down. And like,
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I think we're gonna say the same thing.
I was just gonna say, how awesome is that? That
Oh,
fucking the state of California captured that motherfucker. And the
Dude,
best
not
part
awesome.
was like they go and they're like, we found the bludgeon wound on his head. I think he got hit in the head with a fucking crowbar. I'm like, fuck yeah, he fucking did, motherfucker.
How much restraint did that take for those people not to murder him right there?
I can't like that. That's why like I couldn't do shit like that, because like I could just picture it. Like I fuck up the whole thing. I kill the motherfucker. Never be
And like no one's gonna get
dead.
mad at you. Like even the cops are like they'll take you in. They're like, oh, we just gotta make a show of it. But
He lunged at me. I mean, that's all good enough for me.
Like literally, I pictured that scene and was like, if I was there, I'd be picturing like the kid, getting sodomized with the fucking, shampoo bottle and fucking literally just go ham and rip this motherfucker's head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
you know what the
purge pass for him.
Yeah, it's a green light. Go for it.
Well, real quick, when I watch this now, I picture it by the old UEW arena. Just that.
Oh my god, dude! Like, if that motherfucker was caught there, we would have killed him so fast.
Get him inside. Shut the fucking door.
But okay, what I was going to say was, do you know what's horrible? None of the movies have that ending. There's some of the movies, the cops catch them. Some of the movies, they changed. I'm like, how the fuck do you not have the most awesome ending with all of fucking, East LA coming and capturing them?
Yeah, that movie needs to be made. Like, I don't go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't remember the way they did it in the Lou Diamond Phillips one, but I remember it not having
for a revisit.
Yeah, I don't think that they. If I recall,
they did that ending in. I know the previous ones didn't. I don't remember that one either. But sorry, go ahead, Kruger.
I'm just saying, like, you totally could do that easily and just like have a movie where like you're following the detectives, but then you're just shooting of how how society is fucking reacting to this, how families are starting to lock their doors and shit, and then finally have it build up to that climactic ending. I think you have an Oscar-winning fucking movie right there.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing now the UEW arena. It's just like he's getting the shit. We're gonna make this a triple threat match.
Did you guys know? Oh, I know I sent you the picture. Did you know it was a dispensary now? Did I
No.
mention that?
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah, it makes sense though, because we used to fucking stink that fucking place out of the goddamn universe. So
Yeah. Sorry. Side story.
yeah, side story. UEW
that-
arena, rest in peace.
Right.
But that last chase would be a fucking amazing movie because it starts off at a liquor store, not a liquor store. Yeah, liquor store. Then he fucking catches a bus, and there's a fucking truck driving after him, and he's not seeing it. And then he's like just hopping fucking fences, and then he tries to choke an old man out in his car. And he's like, "Fuck you, SA."
See, now, like I'm just picturing this whole thing happening in front of the UEW arena, like the fucking liquor store there. He's hopping the fences of the houses in front of the building. Like, motherfucker, this is great.
Can you imagine after he finally kind of gave up because he'd taken those shots to the head? Just like, who has a shampoo bottle? Somebody's coming out.
I was thinking light tube, but okay.
Oh yeah.
They also kind of glossed over his outbursts in court because like he wasn't always cool, calm, and collected like they show. He had a couple of fucking like big outbursts where like get him the fuck out of here.
Mhm.
I remember watching the coverage too.
Yeah. No,
That was
Oh,
the first one I remember. I was 9. First serial killer I remember. And of course, it's active and it's biased.
Do you remember like being afraid at that point, or were you still kind of?
Oh no, it was definitely like a real thing. Like I knew that especially after Orange County, and I was like, yeah, well, I was kind of freaked out.
Locked.
I can tell you exactly where I was when they caught him.
Oh really? Where?
I was in Hawaii,
Oh shit.
so
trying
it wasn't
trying
coming.
to wait it out over there.
Just happened to be timing. But yeah. So I remember hearing and being relieved. So when we got home, we didn't have to
How old
worry
were you
about
at this
that
point?
shit.
Like 10?
He got caught in 85, so I was like 9,
Okay.
8 or 9, because depends what.
So
time
there's
of
no
year.
like body trails that you left over there. Got it. I will say, as a person who wears like serial killer stuff, like T-shirts and I have posters and stuff. I think I'm wearing one right now. Albert Fish. I did feel terrible when the girl is sitting there in the courtroom, not in the courtroom, but like outside the courtroom, and she's wondering why this dude's here. And she like rolls up his sleeves and there's a pentagram. And she's like, "Oh, this motherfucker is a fan of this person that killed my grandmother." I'm like, I wear this shit, but like I wouldn't go down there, and I would be respectful enough not to wear some shit like that in front of them. That's fucked up.
I think it goes back to what I'm saying, Pugs. There's people like I don't think necessarily you spending $20 on a fucking t-shirt made by somebody that has no affiliation with the serial killer fucking is a bad thing. But once you're going that extra step, that extra level where you're there at the trials, you're fucking there sending this motherfucker letters. I mean, that's when you have, interesting perspective, and you're like, that's kind of crossing the line. Granted, there's people I love in cinema that were friends with John Wayne Gacy, like directors I fucking absolutely adore that were legit friends with John Wayne Gacy that like I can't even fault. Like it's one of those things where it's really weird, and like there's the people that take it to that next, like you're at a fandom level, the people that take it to a next obsession level are the ones that should be frowned upon, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Who's
Just like
I remember that guy that has Manson's teeth. Although I won't lie. Probably.
I mean, that's a
just
little different. That's collecting.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if you're out there sexually fantasizing a serial killer, there may be something fucking wrong with you, dipshit. So how about you go look into that and stop sending messages to the fucking guy who raped kids in jail?
Yeah.
There you go.
that Scott Peterson, again, not a serial killer, but he's
Well,
one that apparently gets a shit ton of that.
I don't know if we want to do this, but I think he got dealt a raw deal.
You don't think he did it?
Oh, I think he did it, but one of the jurors said I'm not sure and convicted him anyway. Like, according to our system, that shouldn't be how it goes down. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Sometimes you just let it go.
He did it.
Because it's probably one of the rare times the white guy got convicted with. But not all the ducks lined in a row.
Yeah. Overall, though, I really enjoyed this doc. And, obviously, a lot of the details of Ramirez, but I thought it was kind of cool seeing these detectives, how it affected their lives.
The fact that Frank couldn't protect his family, like he's like, the wife's like, yeah, I got to take our kids and go, and he's like, yeah, you do. Like, he's like, I can't do it because I'm not here all the time. Like, oh, that's fucked up.
I played a lot.
Frank was very likable.
I played a lot of
Both of
cards
them.
with cops, and almost all are either divorced or have marital issues. It's got to be tough going into work, especially when you're seeing shit like that. And still,
Were they beat cops or detectives?
Well, both. I mean, for some reason I just ended up playing cards with a lot of cops, and they all have.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
He's trying to Ed Kemper him. So about that missing child. What do you know? Are you on to me?
That's fucked up. God damn. Oh, God.
Oh, I did say that, huh?
Yeah,
I
don't even remember. It's too good. I'll take credit for it, though.
That's messed up.
Well, I don't know. Do we have anything else on this? I did really like it, and I'd recommend it to anyone who likes serial killer stuff.
Even if you're familiar with the case, it's just like it paints a little more. Just on Baxter and other people who caught him, which is really, really cool. But there's other documentaries out there that focus on the murders and on that piece of shit himself. So,
I like you said, the one lady that was, I think, like 6 years old at the time. Like, it's interesting seeing, like, went through a lot of shit, but she's doing well. She's a hero. She went on with her life, which
she was tough as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
What is it? When she's like, oh, you got to, when the lineup or whatever, it's like, do I spell the number or do I write the number? I'm like, oh, you're so fucking smart. I love you. You didn't deserve this shit. And then she called the cop a teddy bear, and then he broke down. I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. That would get me too. I mean, yeah, it's. So I did like that they kind of like these were the people, and I loved at the end all those crowds that were, just celebrating something good. Like, we got this evil piece of shit off the streets. It's nice to actually.
It was the reverse
together. Like, you don't get it anymore for anything, and it was just nice seeing that. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I agree, Kruger. They should have just fucking killed him right then and there. I would have hung him,
cripple him, break both of his fucking knees and elbows, and then he's fucked, and he still has to go to trial. Happy middle.
The crowbar. I'm just saying, the crowbar that hit his head would have been shoved in his dick hole if it was me. Fucking. But I do appreciate that he got full justice, and it is a complete story. You finally get a beginning, or a beginning, middle, and end with this documentary, and that's something I appreciated also.
The only part that sucked, he died of natural causes. Like, it's cancer, but like, keep him alive, let him suffer a little more. Like, that one I don't mind spending my tax dollars on.
Just enough to keep
keep it going.
No treatment.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wish he would have just to be honest, I wish he wouldn't even got the death penalty. I wish he would have just rotted in prison for the rest of his life, landing with Big Bubba that fucked him in the ass every night. But fucking overall, I think the documentary's good, but I do wish it went farther. And if you are interested in that type of stuff, like I said, true crime horror story, they don't hold back on anything on that podcast as far as like the real shit that's in the case, fucking verbatim, straight up, everything that's written out, on the documents you can get on it. And so if you want it to go a little bit farther, go check out the podcast from True Crime Horror Story for sure.
Definitely.
Do any of you, before we wrap, have like somebody that you'd like to see one of these in-depth docs on that they really haven't done?
Just
Albert
one.
Fish.
Several.
Albert Fish. I think Albert Fish has a good doc out there on him, but
Mhm.
he doesn't have a 4-episode piece like Richard Ramirez does, and I think he should, because he is definitely one of the most evil, fucked up, fucking child killers we've ever had in the history of fucking the world. And I really think that it would be powerful and just a good piece to fucking put on, but don't hold back anything if you're
Oh,
gonna do Albert Fish, because he is fucking one of the worst of the worst.
Oh, and some of the self-mutilation stuff too with him. That
This
Dean Coral would be good. I would like that.
oh yeah,
this was my main one I wanted. So
Oh, cool.
now everything else. I mean, of course, like an Ed Gein one, 4-part like this would be great.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, same. But see, I don't know, but Ramirez is my first, but I naturally gravitate towards Ed Gein.
I would be interested in a full-length documentary about that Japanese cannibal that had a Vice story put out about him too.
Okay.
He had some because there's some really like that guy. You know, he murdered somebody, got released and deported into Japan. I can't remember what country he was in before, but then when he got to Japan, people started hiring him to like do porn. And
I know who you mean. Yeah.
And they like literally on one of his pornographies, they fucking kill a cat. Like it's like a snuff film, animal snuff film on a cat right before they just have him just gratuitously eating meat and shit. And just
Hands
like,
out.
I want to hear about all that fucking weird ass fucking shit about that guy, because that Vice documentary was only like an hour long and it fucking had me way more intrigued. I think there's way more you can scratch from the surface from that.
I actually want to change my answer because I don't know why I didn't immediately say it. My most wanted now, as of this moment, since we got Night Stalker, is Leonard Lake and Charles Ning.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also still people around from that. If they could interview Cricket, who's apparently still out there, I mean, holy shit, that would be a good doc.
Yeah. Which case is that? Because I'm not
the Miranda murders.
You have to,
There's a couple films.
Yeah. We'll make it a cruise.
No, I know there's a doc. Is that that's not the arson one, is it?
No. Okay. That's We'll talk about that one later.
No. I was going to say that Japanese guy, those porns he makes. I mean, again, it might be gimmicked, but apparently
you have them. You fuck.
I do not. I'm not that.
You know what? This time I believe.
Yeah,
because if he kills a cat, he's out.
Yeah,
you say I'm not that fucked up, and you have a picture of John Wayne Gacy right up on.
You eat people, all right. That's bad, but don't fuck with cats.
You can't see the director of Jeepers Creepers behind his hat.
That's Dario Argento, sir.
I don't want to trigger Kruger.
Don't get me started. There should be. You know what, motherfucker? There should be a fucking documentary on Victor Salva. How about that, fucking Hollywood? You stupid motherfucker.
There is. I heard that Nathan Forrest Winter's doc is done. I don't know where you get it, but I've heard it's done and it's out there.
And it's me.
Yeah,
we'll find it.
We'll have to find it because I heard it was all wrapped and ready. So,
well, I'm interested. I want to see that. Put that. Shit out there.
No, there's a lot that people don't know about that case because there's more.
No, there's a lot of people that don't know that case is a thing, which is terrible.
Yeah, no, but there's more details from what I.
A lot of people that think that guy should still work in fucking Hollywood.
I won't bring up Nicolas Cage's uncle.
Why you gotta do Frankie like that? He's an enabler.
It's so weird to me.
I think funding his movies is what's the weird thing about Coppola.
He's probably got shit on him. That's why.
That is true. Maybe he does have.
Allegedly.
Here we go. But to answer your original question, Dan, every fucking serial killer possible, make it a series. Each 4-part episode is based on a new killer. I mean, it's it's limitless, really. There's a bunch of fucking murderers out there.
I mean,
so.
even smaller cases like the ones the one we had about the family eliminator that we did not too long ago that was on.
Chris Watts.
Stuff like that interests the shit out of me too. Like I wouldn't mind seeing more stuff on smaller cases like that. Not huge. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say next month I'm really looking forward to it. It's not a serial killer case, but what's her name? Pugs, the one in the elevator.
Oh, Elisa Lamb.
Yes. That one I'm hoping it's also a 4-parter too. I don't know if we have that confirmed or if
I
it's a
hope
feature.
so. Yeah, that's so interesting, and I think that definitely going to be a good one for us
we'll
to talk about
because
I'm interested. I'm interested on what all you guys have to say about that. But for those watching, you're going to have to wait till that episode.
I forgot a lot of details though, so that will be interesting. I mean, I know
there you go.
But yeah. So,
but on that, do we have anything else before we get out of here?
Just Richard Ramirez is a piece of shit in LA. You're awesome for catching him. Fucking other LA citizens, I will say. But fucking other than that, it's a good doc. Check it out. But like I said, if you want to get into the more in-depth do your research.
And just one last closing thing. The car also pissed me off. Like, what the fuck? And it was sitting out that you just left it outside for days, so there's no chance of getting fingerprints just because you don't want to work together with a different precinct. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's got to stop.
Well,
So anyways,
thankfully that has changed now. For the most part. So anyway, like, share, and subscribe. We're on Patreon, so if you'd be so kind and check that out, donations start just at $1 and you get exclusive and early content, and most importantly, uncensored, where you can see us go off the rails, be complete assholes, but we're funny, so I guess it's okay. And then follow us across all the social media bullshits. Run all of them. And interact with us as much as you want and as much as you can. We're around. So please and thank you. So everyone, say good night.
good night.
Stay sick, motherfuckers.
Block your
I'll
windows.
see you in Disneyland.